Good morning, traders. Richard here doing a quick Ichimoku cloud chart market review of the Xetra Dax Index, a German index. We had a fantastic rebound rally from critical cloud chart support levels. It's about 3 trades up more than 1,600 points as of this morning. So let's take a look at those rebound rallies. Now, when the Xetra Dax sliced to the bottom in the cloud, that was a short selling signal. We then had these downside targets there for key support levels to be tested. We then reversed our trades as soon as we started to look at these support zones 1466 and then 14531 and then 14484. Now what's interesting, the 14531 is the major support zone on the daily Ichimoku cloud, and that trade's worked out beautifully. We're now fighting resistance just above the turning line and the standard line of the cloud. And will be interesting to see if we're going to get a continuation of this rally, or maybe just close the gap and then continue the rally to the upside. But so far so good. We're back above the bottom end of the cloud, and that is bullish on the DAX, with upside resistance targets as the top end of the cloud. Yeah, that's quite far away actually, 15,370. And that's the upside resistance targets on this cloud chart trade. And there's another key resistance zone to get past. So these old highs there, that cluster of, and that old high there, that 1580, 15,200 basically is another key resistance zone. Incidentally, that coincides well with these two resistance levels on the cloud. But so far so good, and the bottom end lows, yeah. So we're moving into a kind of moderate resistance zone between 15,183 and 15,370. So the easy money's been made in this rebound rally. The question now becomes is, are we going to break past this resistance and touch the 15,370, or are we going to snap back, close that gap, and then continue the rebound to the upside? But back above the cloud, so that's the good news on the daily. Now let's take a look at the 4-hour Ichimoku cloud. Gives a bit more feeling what's going on intraday. We can see how that rebound rally worked out well and where those levels come from. 14,571 was the one trade and 14,484 was the other one. It was quite a volatile session because the news was incredibly negative, but you have to have a contrarian view. We also looked at the price action here and the distance from the cloud, so mathematical mean reversion or reversion to the mean, whatever way you want the term. So right now, so this is a beautiful rally, a gap up there, so do expect the gap to close. Key levels to watch out for now is this old resistance zone, which used to be a support zone on this rally up, now can either become a resistance zone. It was a resistance zone there, or will it become a support zone? And that coincides very well with that front end cloud level. So it's critical for the DAX to maybe test this level, maybe dip back, close the gap, and then regain support above there. But on the 4-hour, the 15,086 is now a critical level to be tested, as well as the front end of the cloud. These are two support levels to watch out for. 14,937. So if the gap closes, snaps back, it can rebound from 14,937 and then make another attempt to break past the cloud. So we are bearish still on the 4-hour. Price action below the cloud is bearish. For the 4-hour to be bullish, price action need to be back above the top end of the cloud here. So the upside potential, if support holds in these this level or these zones, the other resistance level to watch out for is this zone there, 15,212, and that's also an old support zone and a front end cloud chart resistance level, as well as the next one is this zone there, and ultimately the top end of the cloud there, 15,297, and then 15,370, that bottom end of the cloud there, that zone there, and then ultimately that top zone there, 15,450 basically. So these are the upside targets. If this relief rally continues, it needs to break through these resistance zones. But there is a possibility that we might just snap back, close this gap, and then attempt to rally from that zone. Support zones to watch out for is this one, 15,086, 14,937. And then the turning line here, which is quite far away actually. Hold on, let me just get that. Turning line here is another key support zone. So these are 14,806. So these are the key support zones on the 4-hour chart. And we now have got the upside resistance zones clearly identified on the 4-hour chart. Now, interestingly enough, I wonder if we're going to get a continuation of this moves. And it's currently, it's just above this standard line of the cloud, which can be a significant support zone, 15,062. So keep an eye on that one. The support zone between 15,086 and 15,082, and then 15,062. So as long as we can stay about 15,000, then we can possibly take out these other resistance zones. But I'm concerned that we might want to close that gap in the price action together with the gap on the daily price action there. Do expect there's a bit of a risk for that to close. If we look at the 3-hour Ichimoku cloud, the 3-hour Ichimoku cloud, very similar, not far off the 4-hour one, with similar type support zones and resistance levels to the upside. And if we now take a look at the hourly one, gives it a little bit more intraday feel. Broke through the bottom of the cloud, fantastic, now getting very close to this top end resistance zone. So keep an eye on those resistance levels there. This rebound rally is now beautifully rebounded, more than 1,600 points in profit in terms of 3 trades, and now getting close to the top end cloud chart resistance on the hourly one. So it's critical for the DAX to break past this resistance zone on the hourly and clear the cloud completely. Then we'll be very bullish on the hourly chart. But be aware that we've got these resistance zone levels there, 15,183, and another one just a little bit to the front to deal with. You can see how that resistance zone there held up the last time. Now it'll be interesting to see if we're going to get past this level. These resistance levels there at the front end of the cloud corresponds very well with these old highs and the resistance zone we had there. So absolutely critical time for the DAX to break past these 15,200 and 15,183 resistance zones on the hourly. But back to the 4-hour, looking for that potential resistance test there. But we are aware that the downside risk might be that this gap might be closing. But we've taken some profit off the table on 2 of the trades and keeping the one running to see if we're going to get through to the upside resistance. Until next time, happy cloud chart trading. Bye for now.